Hi, I'm Cantor Matt Axelrod of Congregation Beth Israel in Scotch Plains. You know, all of us who live our lives around the Jewish calendar, all of us in the professional Jewish world live in abject fear of three things. One, being on vacation in August and seeing the full moon and realizing that Rosh Hashanah is just 2 weeks away. Two, getting that first glimpse of the Passover aisle at the local supermarket. And three, having to write a Devar Torah for Parshat Tazria, also known as the leprosy one. Now this parsha seems to come out of nowhere, and it assaults us with the existence of this mysterious condition called tzara'at, commonly but somewhat erroneously translated as leprosy, along with its painstakingly descriptive and graphic details of its symptoms. Within the text of the Torah, we read about scaly afflictions, white and red discolorations, eruptions, and blisters. This is a parsha that only a dermatologist could love. Clearly, we need to find a way to relate to this parsha. And the first clue might be in simply acknowledging how much real estate in the Torah this text takes up. Assuming that we adopt the traditional model of Torah study, we then understand that there's not one unnecessary or extraneous word in the entire Tanakh. Each section, each word, each letter is there for a reason. So I think it's fair to assume that the Torah is giving us some message that transcends what we'd find in a medical textbook. It's time to pull out our metaphor machine. Because while a cigar may sometimes just be a cigar, tzara'at is probably something else entirely. Amidst all of these uncomfortable details lies the fact that a person's body had gone out of control. There was something happening and they weren't sure what it was. And that must have been frightening. And because this condition was external, visible to everyone else, it engendered a sense of stigma and isolation. And that's something that all of us can relate to. Our physical and emotional health can go out of control, and that's scary. So with apologies to Masachet Brachot, I say, Al tikra tzara'at, ela tzarot. Let's understand tzara'at as representing all of our tzarot, our tsuris. Just as our biblical ancestors did when suffering from tzara'at, when we suffer physical or emotional distress, it's our first instinct to withdraw and isolate ourselves from everyone else. People with tzara'at, or that is, people experiencing tsuris in their lives, often place themselves on the margins, and in turn the rest of us in the community are often hesitant to reach out. Now, back to the Israelites. For those who are diagnosed with this malady and being forced to live outside the camp, what happened to them? Well, in the middle of the strange and mysterious text, we read about a moment of utmost compassion. The Kohen, the priest, would be the one to approach this individual dwelling in the fringes of society in a state of tumah, of ritual impurity, and he would do something utterly amazing. Understanding the sublime power and gift of physical contact, the Kohen would touch them. He would put his hands, on their arms, and through this simple action, the Kohen would tell them, it's okay. I'm with you. We'll get through this. Let's find a way together to solve this. We need and want you back in the community. For all of us who are Jewish leaders, and for all of us who are members and volunteers and active participants in the Jewish community, throughout this parsha, don't just read about the Kohen. Be the Kohen. Be the person to reach out to those in need, to the disaffected and disenfranchised when no one else will. We are the modern-day spiritual descendants of the Kohanim, and it's incumbent upon us to ensure the survival of the Jewish people. Shabbat Shalom.